Let's talk about why becoming too frugal and becoming a Scrooge can actually be really counterproductive and stop more money from flowing to you. So a lot of financial mentors will tell you that if you want to get ahead financially, especially say if you want to pay off debt or you want to achieve a big financial goal like buying a new home or making a major investment, you're going to need to get really frugal and tighten your belts and just cut out all non-necessary, non-essential spending. You need to save, 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 save. So they will tell you, to cancel your gym membership and go for walks instead. They will tell you to stop buying clothes, wear what you've got, go minimalist, or, buy secondhand and thrift, which I'm also a big fan of, but for other reasons. And, they will tell you to stop going out for lunches and coffees, to take a packed lunch, to have your friends over at home or, meet for a walk around the park instead of going out for lunch. They'll tell you to cancel movie and dinner date night and instead just, do Netflix and maybe a once a month pizza at home. So in this episode, we're going to talk about why overdoing it and becoming way too frugal can actually be really counterproductive and stop the money flow into your life. And just before we get into it, this is the kind of stuff we talk about here. This channel is specifically for women business owners and entrepreneurs, but men are very welcome too. And we talk about how to create more abundance, both inside and out, an internal state of abundance where we actually feel abundant and rich, and getting more money in the bank, creating financial stability and freedom, and really putting our money to work for us. So if this is something you want to find out more about and really go deeper with, then hang around. Give me a thumbs up, hit like on this video to let me know that you like this video and you want to see more content like this. It also lets YouTube know that you like this content and will show you more. And also please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and that'll maximize your chances of you actually getting to see more episodes as I release them, which I generally do early Wednesday morning Australian time. So that is the night before if you're in the US or the UK or really anywhere other than Australia, pretty much. All right, let's get into it. When you have a really specific financial goal and the pressure's on, it can be really tempting to go way overboard, and it's great to be inspired into a new way of life where you're not wasting money. That's cool, but it's so easy to go way overboard and over tighten that belt so much that you're actually choking the flow of abundance into your life and starting to convince yourself that this is how it has to be. It can become a habit. It can reinforce old programs around, a poverty mindset. And also you run the risk of overdoing it so much that it's absolutely not sustainable. And then when you blow the budget, you feel a sense of failure. You feel like you can't do such a simple thing. And often it can actually lead to rebellion, where you go totally the opposite and you undo all the progress you've just made by just going out on a wild spending spree. And here's a really interesting story. Back when I was a broke, newly single mum with little kids, I used to drive my son to his very expensive private school that his father was paying for in my just middle-class suburban car. It wasn't a bomb, but it wasn't a Porsche. But this school had convertible Bentleys and nannies that were driving the kids to school. And I used to drive in there and feel so less than. I used to feel embarrassed. I used to feel like I needed to go park in the teacher's car park where all the, literally the bombs were parked. And it was a really horrible feeling. And at that time, I felt like I had no choice but to live on as little as possible because I had no money. I had no income for quite a while either. And the interesting thing though is that even as the money started flowing in, that feeling persisted. I still felt like I didn't belong. I still felt uncomfortable and awkward. I still felt embarrassed and ashamed, even though I was starting to make really good money and probably in some cases more than some of the other parents who were totally comfortable at that school socializing and hanging out. And I mean, most of them were really lovely people. It's nothing they did. It's just what I perceived and how I felt. And even though I was then making good money and actually running a successful business that I'd built out of thin air, I still felt less than. And that is the danger if you're overdoing the frugality thing and turning it into a way of life, is that you program yourself into thinking that you're a pauper and that you don't belong and don't deserve, the nice things in life. And then you take that pattern with you, or possibly you're reinforcing an existing pattern and making it even worse. And then even though you have the money, you still don't actually feel any more abundant. And that's really what we want to avoid for you here. So let me go through a few pointers here that will help you save money, get ahead financially, achieve your financial goals, and feel abundant and actually open the gates to more abundance and money rather than closing them down. So what you'll notice as I start to go through these points is that really we're marrying the magical with the practical. And that's what I'm all about, especially when it comes to the subject of money and abundance, because we have an energetic relationship with money and we actually magnetically attract it to us, or sometimes repel it away. And we also have an unconscious relationship with money. We have stories we tell ourselves about our self-worth, our, what we deserve, and whether money's hard or easy to call in. And then we have a practical relationship with money, which is about what are we actually doing with our money. So it's actually about bringing all of that together. And that's what my Magnetic Money program is all about. I'll pop the link in the description below, so you should go check that out, because it's really about a holistic transformation in your relationship with money. The way you think about money, the way you feel about money, and what you do with your money, because abundance is something you want to feel in here and have evidence of in terms of the money in the bank. So the first thing to remember is that feeling abundant and like you have money and that you are abundant is actually what makes you magnetic to more, which is what allows more to flow into your experience. So if you overdo the tightening the belts thing, the cutting costs, living really frugally, if you overdo that, and you kind of leave no room for feeling abundant and actually noticing that you do have money, or at least spend time appreciating the money that you do have, then you're closing down that gate of allowing more abundance to flow. You are the magnet. And when you feel abundant, you attract abundance. And when you feel like there's not enough, you attract more of not enough. So you want to make sure that the actions you're taking are allowing you to feel really abundant and celebrating the money that you already have, because that's what actually attracts more to you. Now, the next thing is that having dedicated fun money is actually a legitimate manifesting exercise that allows you to attract a whole lot more money consistently. And that ensures that you are naturally aligning with that vibration of money and abundance, which is what makes you magnetic to more. So a dedicated amount of fun money where you know that this money is there for you to have fun with, to spend on whatever you like. No judgment, no repercussions, no having to answer to anybody or apologize, and no feeling guilty, most importantly. I did a whole episode on the power of fun money that you can watch. I'll put the link in the description, description of this video for you below, and we might even link it at the end as one of the ones to watch next here. So fun money is a really powerful thing to do. And of course, you need to have your money system set up to ensure that you know where your fun money is, how much is there, so that you can spend it safely, and knowing that you spending that money doesn't affect anything else that's important. Most importantly, the goal that you're looking to reach. So fun money is important to have. And when you overdo the tightening the belts thing, usually people cut out all the fun money, and you need at least some of it. Now, the next thing is that over tightening your belt and overdoing the budgeting thing and, living really skint can actually cause budget blowouts, because stuff's going to happen, right? And if you blow the budget consistently, you're going to feel like a failure. You're going to feel like you can't do it and like it doesn't really work. And in the worst possible scenario, it can lead to a total rebellion. Like I said earlier, where you actually then just go out on a wild spending spree and undo all the good work you've done. So you don't actually want to over tighten the belt to where it's not sustainable. And I did do an episode which looks like this, which I'll link below for you as well, where I went through, the basic principles for putting together a money system that works so that you can move forward financially. And you might want to check that one out next, because it's really important that you have enough of a buffer to ensure that you don't constantly have budget blowouts, so that you can feel like you're succeeding, you can feel like you're moving forward, you can celebrate it, and you can stick with what you're doing and actually achieve your goals. And I'd love to know, leave me a comment below, has that happened to you in the past? You know, where you've tried to start a budget and then you just kept blowing the budget and you ended up giving up. Most people that come into the Magnetic Money program kind of have this wasteland of, you know, budget apps and different spreadsheets and things that they've tried in the past that just didn't work for them. So you're definitely not alone. So let me know below, has that happened to you? Have you had budget blowouts in the past? Did you have a complete budget rebellion and just go out on a wild spending spree? If so, what did you buy? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Now, the last reason I'm going to give you why you don't want to over-tighten your budgets, before I start telling you what to do instead, that will be a lot more helpful. The last one I want to give you is that when you over-tighten your belt and you cut out all this extra spending, it can really foster and fuel a mindset of, I can't afford that, and it's not enough. Now, for many of the women I work with who come into the Magnetic Money program, they've already got that going on. And just like I kind of mentioned in my story before, more money doesn't change that pattern. If that's our unconscious program of saying it's never enough and I'm never safe, what you'll notice happening is that even as you make more money, you still can't relax. You still feel like it's not enough. Even though you can pay the bills, you're paying the mortgage, you've got a roof over your head, there's food in the fridge, you know, you still worry, even when the money is there and the bills are being paid. That's an accumulator habit archetype pattern, and it's often fed and fueled by this really unhealthy old money story of, I'm not safe, it's never enough. And so when you get into this habit of, you know, cutting all costs and so on, you're just reinforcing that pattern. And the problem with that is that even when you have completely changed your financial situation, you've reinforced something that makes you feel broke even when you're not. And that is honestly no fun. And we don't want that for you. Okay, so let's quickly cover a few things you can do instead that will allow you to reach your financial goals, you know, make that financial progress, but without inadvertently turning off the tap of money and abundance. And the very first thing is that whenever you cut costs, you want to do it from a place of empowerment. You want to cut costs feeling excited, feeling good about it, knowing that this is helping you move forward financially and that you feel okay. You don't want to feel like you're sacrificing your firstborn just to pay off a credit card. You want to feel like, you know, you're trimming some fat that was just weighing you down anyway, and you're excited about moving forward. And so, you know, whatever you're substituting that old thing with, it should be something that actually nourishes you even more. The next handy tip for you is leave wiggle room. We've already talked about that. You want to prevent budget blowouts and full-blown budget rebellion. And like I said, this video here covers the golden rules for setting up a really great money system for you. And this is one of them, right? Because we want to avoid the blowouts, we want to feel good, we want to stay on track, and we want to achieve our goals. So leaving plenty of wiggle room and not making things too skint and too tight is a really simple way that you can achieve that. And we talked about fun money, the importance of fun money. So that's my other tip for you for getting it right. Yes, cut out extra spending of things you don't need. Save money where money is being wasted. But in amongst all of that, there has to be some dedicated fun money that allows you to actually feel abundant and celebrate the money you do have in that moment when you're spending it. Even if it's $10 a week, even if it's just that one coffee date you take yourself on each week. And the trick is that when you're actually doing it, you really celebrate and enjoy it and go, you know what? This coffee never tasted so good to me before because I wasn't really appreciating that I actually have the money to be able to go on coffee dates with myself or with a friend. But I just choose to do it once a week now. really enjoy that coffee. Yeah, I could go more, but I choose not to. And I'm doing it from a sense of empowerment. And this actually makes me feel abundant. See how that's totally different to I'm cutting out all the coffee dates, can't afford those anymore because I've got to pay off the credit card. It's a world of difference apart. And just a quick heads up that one of my episodes to come, maybe the one after this, might be the one after the one after this, I'm actually going to be talking about the importance of focusing on what you have in order to attract more, and the ways in which a lot of people get it backwards, even though they think they're doing it right. So be sure to keep an eye out for that one. And of course, essential to helping you succeed with all of this is that you have your banking sorted. It's kind of the basic infrastructure through which your money flows. So I do have a free workshop if you haven't done that yet. The link will be in the description below. Jump on that. It's called Organize and Tidy Your Banking. And it really helps you set up that base structure so that you can set up your money system to really support you in achieving your financial goals in a way that makes you magnetic to more. And if you're ready for the full-blown transformation, if you want high transformation with high touch support from myself with live coaching calls, then Magnetic Money is what you want to check out. I will pop the link for you in the description below as well. We'd love to have you in the Magnetic Money Club and really help you transform your money mindset and sort out your finances once and for all. Did you enjoy this video? Is it making you feel more empowered around some of your choices on saving money and ways to save money? And maybe has it taken a little bit of the edge off of, oh my God, I never get to do anything fun again? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button so I know that you want to see more videos like this, and so YouTube knows as well. And please subscribe, share it with a friend. Something just fell. Never mind. I will see you next time where we continue talking about ways that you can create a more abundant state internally, a state of being, because that's what abundance actually is, and get some more money in the bank because that's a whole lot of fun too. I'll see you then. Bye for now.